much for giving me a few minutes of your time. I am here with Brok Weaver, a up and coming UFC fighter. That is so super cool. This is That Guy's Wrestling Podcast. If you don't know who I am Gary Van Auken, or you can just call me That Guy. So yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking a few minutes. So you said you're watching Monday Night Raw. How long have you been a fan of professional wrestling?
All my life.
Eh,
I
uh,
had no choice. My papa, I was raised with my grandparents, and I watched it from whenever I can remember seeing anything out of these eyes from that age to now. Still watching wrestling, and still a fan.
very, 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 very cool. Who were your favorites growing up? Like, let me get a little background information on you. Like, who were you
Uh,
interested in?
I really started becoming a fan. Uh, Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, the Sting was one of my all-time favorite. I love the face paint. I do that, and took that and do that. And Chris Benoit is my grandpa's all-time favorite. The Wolverine, So he, I used to like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, and man, so many, man. My all-time favorites though is probably Sting and Stone Cold, and the greatest of all time though is Goldberg. No question.
Goldberg.
No,
Wow.
nobody could beat Goldberg, but Hulk Hogan could not whoop Goldberg. No, he didn't. Hulk Hogan didn't whoop Goldberg. Goldberg whooped the whole NWO one time. I remember that. It was crazy.
So, could I take it from your answers that were you a WCW guy more than a WWE, or did you kind of go back and forth during that time?
Back and
You
forth,
know,
all of it. Yeah. Yeah.
very cool. Um, so yeah, that's very cool. That's awesome that you've been watching it this whole time. Especially so you're watching it with your grandpa right now. That's what I love so much about it. It's something you can do together as a family. Um, so from your aspect, the reason I'm talking to you about it, because obviously you do, mixed martial arts, UFC fighting, and so it's kind of a very similar, but they're both fighting, one real, one choreographed. Um, so what do you feel is, lends to that crossover between the two, or how do you feel about the wrestlers or fighters crossing over back and forth?
I really like it, man. Because in MMA, you can't really fight all out like that for a long time. But what wrestling does is gives these fighters that are showsmen and can act a little bit and that are athletic, it gives them another career to pursue and live out a little longer, because MMA you really got to stop at 40. With wrestling, you got guys like Ric Flair and Vince McMahon and all these, that are up in their 60s and 70s and still, doing it with the young guys. And wrestling also, it's fake, it's choreographed, but it's a lot of athleticism, man. And these guys get hit sometimes hard. These guys fall through this stuff and they get cut up. I mean, you get banged up in wrestling. I see guys. I mean, not everything's choreographed. Not everything's fake. I mean, you got to be tough. Not everybody's built for that sport either, man. Not MMA fighter can go in there and wrestle with them big guys. You got to be big too, man. I definitely would probably get on some roids before I cross over there and beef up a little bit, get some more muscle to fall on.
All right. Yeah, I love how you're using the word choreographed, and I try and use that too because fake. Yeah, I don't. People like to say fake, and I don't think it's fake at all because, like you said, you're getting beat, you're getting hit, you're getting slammed. You're
Yeah.
not landing on pillows. You're not landing on soft surfaces.
No.
Broken
It's
bones,
kind of like
bloody
a
things.
choreographed freestyle. It's a
Yeah.
freestyle. You feeling each other out. You practice these moves, and you got your certain amount of moves, and then you go what everybody else has got to do with the rope swinging and the bouncing off the ropes and the getting on the ropes. but you freestyling, man, and accidents happen. I've seen a lot of, things like, I mean, look what happened to the Hart brother, I mean, it's bad to say, but things happen, that could have been Sting too, These
Yeah,
guys
no,
do some dangerous stuff, man, these backer flips and stuff off these ropes, and they could slip any minute and break their neck. I mean, it's the athleticism that these 260, 70-pound men are doing is crazy, It's
it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, because I mean, some of the ones that are around now are, like you said, almost 300 pounds, 6'9", 6'10" guys doing, backflips and
yeah.
somersaults and all kinds of crazy stuff that just
They're,
was
they're like
unthinkable.
they're like Rey Mysterio now, but the Rock size.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, The Rock's my all-time favorite, and so I'm glad you
Yeah,
mentioned him.
yeah, yeah,
There's just something about that energy, and you can hit the way he
yeah.
could command a crowd, um, and so you kind of also
It
jumped
was
ahead. You said
it was
something
that
about
look,
that look, the
that
eyebrow,
look,
and
man.
I don't even
That
I'm not
eyebrow,
even going to
that
try and
look,
do it.
that just that persona he had, man. He didn't even really have to talk, and then when he did, it just made it even better. Yeah,
And now he's crossed over and he's the biggest star in Hollywood. So
yeah.
that leads me to another question. Do you think, coming from, like, you see a lot of celebrities trying to cross over into other things, maybe athletes trying to become musicians or wrestlers and fighters or eventually actors? What is it about that desire? Do you think it comes from them wanting to do that as a child, or do you think it's just sometimes people get a taste of being a celebrity, get a taste of being rich, and they're like, well, if I can do it in one thing, I want to do it in another. Where do you think that comes from?
A little bit of both. I believe every kid has a lot of dreams, and when you're in the first grade, you might want to be an NBA player. In the second grade, you might want to be a pro wrestler. In the third grade, you might want to be a pro football player. Kids switch up their dreams a lot, and then when you actually get to age and you're doing something, and then, in wrestling, if you're a star wrestler, you're also a great actor. You have to be, to be a star wrestler. So acting is definitely an easy another job for these guys to do. MMA, you ain't got too many great actors, but every now and then you get one or get someone that has just got that it factor about them, then they can go to wrestling or, go over like Tyson Fury come into wrestling not too long ago. He wasn't bad. Mayweather, he wasn't bad when he did it. It's when you got that it factor, man. People can push you into things, and you just do them, man. It's a little bit of both. Everybody wants to be an actor. I think everybody wants to be a showman in some way or whatever they do. Just some people has got it and some people ain't. I just did a little acting gig for a Netflix movie coming out, a little 30, 40-second scene, but it's the start of something. I have always wanted to be I used to want to be a comic book writer. I used to want to be a pro wrestler, a fighter, a football player, NBA player. But you only get about two or three things you don't get a real good chance at. And you just got to give everything you got at them.
All right. Well, before I get to my next question, let's plug that movie. What's the name of your movie? When does it come out?
It's a movie about gun violence right here, and it's a small rated B movie, micro budget film they're making around here, and it's called Gun Down. It's guess the movie plots like they're just trying to go against gun violence, and when things come up, just put the guns down, something like that. I just come in and kind of make a money deal about throwing a fight in a second or knocking a dude out in a second, and instead of the first or something, and I think they needed me to help sell it too and promote it, and I'm all with it. I'm all with helping the hometown people. Everybody's got dreams, and I'll help out, man. I've had a lot of hometown people help me out through my career, so give back some of the love, and it's a win-win situation with me. Now people will see this movie and they'll say, hey, he's a UFC fighter, and maybe he's into resident acting too, and then he likes to paint his face too for the fights. Maybe he can come over to wrestling and be the new Sting. Sting's getting old.
There you go. There you go. Now I understand the give back. I don't know if my brother mentioned I'm a school teacher in my day-to-day life, and so that's my day job. And then I'm trying to do a little podcasting, in my spare time, just because I've tried to take my love for pro wrestling. But so you mentioned that as a kid growing up, we all tend to have a little bit more elaborate dreams, or many of us do, than we end up actually doing. So what was it like for you that first time that you stepped in a UFC ring? Like that's like that's the top of the top as far as, when it comes to fighting. So what was it like actually knowing that you're living the dream that so many people, would like that want to do?
Um, at that moment, when I stepped in there, uh, it was like it wasn't like I thought it was gonna be. It wasn't the lights weren't as bright as I thought they were gonna be, or it didn't scare me like I thought it was gonna scare me, or it didn't make me as nervous as I thought it was gonna make me. I was totally mentally well with it, and it was like just another regular fight, But then after I watch myself, and then I see all this UFC and all these pictures, and it's crazy, man. I wake up every day and still have to re-believe myself that I'm in the UFC. I actually said at 16 I'm gonna be in the UFC, and 12 years later I'm there.
That is awesome. That is so cool. Yeah. And then so yeah, you're gonna get to see it again when you get a chance to watch yourself on Netflix. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So now jumping back over to the crossover thing. So the two biggest names that have crossed over to both sports would be Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey. What are your thoughts on the two of them, both as fighters and professional wrestlers? Just tell me your opinion on them.
Uh, Brock Lesnar in wrestling is the baddest man on earth, and in MMA he's a dangerous force too. He can wrestle, he can hit, and if he wouldn't have, I believe if he wouldn't have had them surgeries he had and then times off he had, and of course probably had to get off the roids, that makes you a little weird. And when you've been on them for so long, your body and your mentality relies on them. So he was really hard to beat in MMA back in the day, and when he first got that belt and stuff. And if he wouldn't have had them stomach problems, I thought, and he could have held it a little longer, full training camps and stuff like that, I think he would have been a lot better. But yeah, man, it's just he's getting old. Also, age catches up with everybody, and there's just so much new talent coming into the sport now, and the sport's evolving, and you can't be wrestling and then not training MMA and then try to just come back into MMA. You got to be training for these new guys, these new heavyweights that's coming up every day. You can't just look to go in there and take them down anymore. You gotta be able to actually strike, and that's what he always lacked in. Ronda Rousey is also my favorite female fighter of all time. Love her, love everything about her. She's still, to me, the greatest MMA woman champion ever. Nobody's ever did what she's did. She went in there and literally done the same move to everybody 7 or 8 times before it was stopped. And when she lost, she wasn't even in shape for that fight. She didn't even want to fight anymore. And when you don't want to fight anymore, you shouldn't, because there's no reason to get in there and getting all them nerves and then getting in there and realizing you don't want to do it anymore,
No,
And in acting, she's not a really good actor. Now, yeah, she's not a really good actor. She don't really say much in the acting that she did, because I think it's because she's not that good of an actor, but she can play her parts that they give her. She's mean. She plays the mean, tough role parts and stuff. So she does her part, and she makes her money. So, and she's still, to me, I said, like I said, the greatest women champion of all time. And she was a pretty good wrestler too.
I thought she did a really good job picking it up super quickly.
Yeah, she did really good at wrestling. She converted to it and learned it really quick within less than a year, and learned everything. And her acting wasn't as good, her speech wasn't as good, but not everybody's got the whole package. So.
All right, couple more questions, and I'll let you go. So the third person I wanted to talk about is is CM Punk, Phil Brooks. Now, for someone who's in the UFC locker room, what are your thoughts on someone like him trying to just transition, or anybody with a little name recognition trying to transition to mixed martial arts? And then what are your thoughts on him kind of like almost instantly getting a shot on a card. Is it like, do the other fighters think, man, that's ridiculous, he hasn't worked his way up, or are you guys kind of happy that he's bringing in extra viewers, maybe bringing more viewers to the other fighters on the card? Where do you stand on that?
Um, of course, as being a fighter, and it took me so long to get to the UFC, I had to pay my dues. But if you really look at it, CM Punk paid his dues in his career, and if I was to cross over to wrestling and become an instant star, it's because what? I become a star in UFC. I can do that now. I can just cross over and do these kind of things. I ain't gotta pay my dues.
Absolutely.
I'm already a star. CM Punk was a legit star. He wasn't a no-name wrestler. He was a CM Punk. He was a champion. So yeah, he can. If Brock Lesnar can do it, why can't CM Punk do it? Now can he fight? No, he sucks.
No.
Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar could. Brock Lesnar could fight. Brock Lesnar could do it. Could CM Punk do it? We found out, and no, he can't. He totally sucks at it. He got 2 tries at it, and both of them were epic fails. He should, and if he gets another chance, I'm gonna trip because he should not get another chance. He might have not
Nah,
have should
he's
even get a
done.
second, but he should have definitely got any wrestler that's a star. I think, yeah, bring him over here and show him what kind of world this is and see if they can really do it. Brock Lesnar got to do it. He got to do it 4 or 5 times, and we got to see he got tested. He got battled. He fought nothing but killers when he fought. CM Punk didn't. They set him up with
No.
people and he still got killed. And, that's what I'm saying. Like, when Tony, lights out. Tony, what was his name? James Toney. Come over, boxer, famous boxer, knockout,
Oh
one of the
yeah.
great boxers. He come over and fought Randy Couture. Epic failure, but yeah, he
Yeah,
can do that.
that didn't last long.
It didn't last long. Got ankle picked. It happens, but hey, if you want to come over here and try this, come on over. If you're a star in your world, come on over here and let's see if you can be a star in here. If you can't, get out. Take your losses. But hey, I hear Mayweather talking about it. I would love to give Mayweather a shot with me. Now, would I box him? Yeah, I'd box him, but he'd probably beat me to death. Now, would I MMA fight him? I would definitely ankle pick him and beat him to death, or leg kick him to death. But I think Mayweather's a little too smart. He ain't gonna come over to this world. He
No,
don't. His
he's too
pride,
shrewd of a
ego.
business-man.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
ego.
he's not going anywhere. He's going to lose.
Exactly.
So, all right. So if you had the opportunity, I obviously you would want to end up in the WWE someday if possible. Is that something you would really enjoy doing?
Oh, I'm gonna be in the WWE.
All right. I would love to see that. Who would you model yourself? I mean, you've been mentioning Sting a few times, but what kind of personality, what kind of wrestler in the ring would you be modeling yourself after?
Uh, uh, I like the Heartbreak Kid style. I think I'm more of
Yeah.
his size too, body stature. I like the way he moves. Wasn't too fancy, but get a little fancy every now and then. And was solid. He was solid.
Yeah, because for being a smaller guy, he packed a little power, and he was
Yeah.
able to, he hit some hard moves, but then was
Yep.
still able to move quick enough. So
Yep.
very cool, awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much for joining me on that guy's wrestling podcast. I really do appreciate it. Um, you've made me a crossover fan now. I will 100% check out your next fight. Um, and that's what I have been, and that's why you were a perfect fit for this. I've always been a crossover. I'm married, I got kids, I got a job. There's only so much entertainment I can fit in my life. So I
Yeah.
cross over to watch UFC fights. I watched Lesnar fights and Conor McGregor fights, and I watched Ronda. That's what I do. I only have time to cross over. So, but I do. I will add you to my list 100%. I really appreciate it. You got anything you want to plug before we sign off?
Uh,
Your
what
Twitter.
what
You want
what what'd you say your name was again?
to Gary
It
Van
doesn't
Auken?
matter what your name is.
Oh my God! I set you up. You got me on that one.
We
You
gotta
got
leave
it.
on that
All right.
note. We gotta leave
I
on that note.
appreciate it. All right, that's it. I am tapping out. I am done. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully I'll talk to you again soon.
Peace, man.